Figure it out, huh?
All right.
Are we live, Yaakov?
We are. Good Erev Shabbos, everybody.
As they say, yeah, a good Erev Shabbos.
Good Erev Shabbos, they say in Yiddish.
We did it. Another week. I think everyone's doing, I hope, relatively fine. So let's get straight into it as we did last week. We're going to start with a Shabbos introductory song, Yedid Nefesh, wherever you are, however you're listening.
Let's get into the Shabbos spirit, guys.
Absolutely.
Let's do this. Yedid Nefesh, O Rachamon, B'Sholoi Chabdecha, El Ritzoinecha, Yorutz Tzaddecha, Kimo Yayol, Yishtachavel Mul Adorecha, Yever Aloi, Yedidoi Selecha, Minoi Vesu, Vechol Toa, He Golena, Rois Chavivi Yalai, Esu Kasher Eloi Melecha, Toiret Migoinecha, Noa Gila Nisvecha Abachimairohu Kivo Moyen Vechoneinu Ki Meyoilav La 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 everybody.
Pre-Shabbos l'chaim to everyone.
Just first of all, to mention, as we did last week, it could be the other people in other places in the world and on the same time zone. So obviously this is before Shabbos. We will finish before Shabbos, and we ask that if you can please only watch this before Shabbos, or if you don't get a chance to, it will still be here after Shabbos. It's not going anywhere, so you can watch it then. So obviously it's a tough time, and it's been another tough week, and it's perhaps gotten even tougher for many people on a physical level, on an emotional level, on a financial level. So I was thinking yesterday, yesterday was Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Rosh Chodesh is the first day of the Hebrew month. And one of the things which we do on Rosh Chodesh is we say Hallel. For those who don't know, Hallel is basically a compilation of psalms, of different chapters of Tehillim, which all have the theme of thanks, of saying thank you to Hashem. Generally speaking, it's one of the 7 rabbinic commandments which we do on a festival. For example, on Pesach, which is coming up, and Shavuot, and Sukkot, and Chanukah. There's a whole discussion why we don't do it on Purim. Rosh Chodesh is actually not a commandment, it's a custom, it's a minhag, which is
to say
Hallel, which, it's very interestingly, originally was only done in Babylonia, it wasn't done in Israel for various reasons, but after a while it became accepted by the entire Jewish nation that we have this custom that we say Hallel, which is why, one of the reasons why we only say half Hallel, which means we skip out 2 paragraphs, because it's only a custom and it's not actually an obligation. But it's an accepted thing. So I was thinking, why do we actually say Hallel on Rosh Chodesh? Like, what exactly is the reason? Generally speaking, when we say Hallel on a festival,
praising God.
We praise God for a miracle which happened. For example, Pesach, we thank God for the exodus from Egypt, so we say Hallel. On Sukkot, we thank God for His protection. What are we thanking God for on the first day of every month? So the truth is, on a very simple level, one of the reasons originally why they said Hallel on Rosh Chodesh was actually to publicize that it is Rosh Chodesh, because there was no emails or social media in those days to let everybody know. So, which is why in Israel they didn't say Hallel, because everyone knew anyway, because they were close to where the high court was. But either way, there must be a deeper reason to this. Why are we all saying Hallel? There was a very interesting reason that I saw, just incidentally, that in the last chapter of Psalms, of Tehillim, in chapter 150, it says the word Hallelujah, which is the same word, Hallel, 12 times, which is a hint to the fact that we say Hallel 12 times a year on Rosh Chodesh. But perhaps there's a deep lesson for us here, and that is this. I think that generally speaking, when we say Hallel, when we thank Hashem, we say it for something in the past. We thank Hashem for a miracle, for the good things which He's done for us in the past. Rosh Chodesh is the first day of the month. I think Hallel is more about setting the tone for the month ahead. It's more about coming into the month with an attitude of gratitude, with an attitude of being thankful to Hashem for all the blessings which we do have. And perhaps this month, the Hallel was even more emphasized because we're going into a tough month. It's going to be a tough month for many people. Many people are going to have a Seder perhaps alone or with very few people, which we're all going to miss out on the excitement of families getting together and really celebrating, the Yom Tov the way we should celebrate it. And on many other levels, it's going to be a tough month. But we have to at least go into it, start off on Rosh Chodesh, and today's the second of the month, to come in with an attitude of being thankful, an attitude that, we're here, we're breathing, number one. It's similar to what we do every morning. Every morning we wake up and we thank God for being alive. So whatever is going to happen today, at least I'm alive.
It's the modernity of the month.
Correct. It's more emphasis on the attitude we need to go with.
So let's sing a
Hallel song. Let's get into it. Let's start off this month on a positive note, on a high note. Hayano Hashem, Hayano Hashem, Ki ani avnecha. Hayano Hashem, Hayano Hashem, Ki ani avnecha. Hayani avdecha, ben amosevecha. Hayani avdecha, ben amosevecha. Hayani avdecha, ben amosevecha. Pitachta lemoiseira. L'chaim, everybody. L'chaim.
Just before we launch into something bigger, I want to just pick up what you said about people having gratitude and people having strength, even though we know we're going into tough times. It's been a tough week. It's going to be a tough week. However, I have to say, and I think this is maybe got to do with maybe the pre-Shabbat spirit. I have to say that looking back at this week, we've both been talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of shiurim online, videos, WhatsApp messages, and so on and so forth. Interacting with people, not physically, but virtually. And I have to say, yes, there's still a lot of worry. There's been financial disaster this week. There's been people, we know people overseas that are very ill. They should have a refuah shlema, should have a speedy recovery.
Amen.
But I got to say, overall, people are amazing. I've just seen the strength of people, the faith of people, the resilience of people, the hope of people, some more, some less, but come out really strong. It's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah.
In a way, I think it's actually making us closer. I'm not suggesting we should go on like this, but we have to pray to God to take us away. But when we have it, we've given it our best. And I think I feel a lot closer to certain people and lots of people. I think we'll become a lot closer. And I think, it's got to do with this coming Shabbat is we start the new book of Vayikra. Well, we're not going to start it in Shul because we're not going to Shul tomorrow. But the weekly portion is Vayikra. And Vayikra is all about sacrifices, which in Hebrew is called korbanot, right? So in temple times, they would bring all kinds of different sacrifices. Before Pesach, they would bring the Paschal lamb and so on. But it's interesting to look at the word korban in Hebrew. So we always translate it as a sacrifice. Now in English, the word sacrifice means to sacrifice something or to sacrifice ourselves, to give up something, right? Yet the word korban in Hebrew actually doesn't mean that. It means kiruv, to come closer, to connect. And in fact, the commentators tell us that when someone brought a korban, it's not a sacrifice to God, it became closer to God. But I think that the two translations are very interesting. Sometimes you've got to give up and work hard to become close. And I kind of would think about it as we're going into the Shabbos, this beautiful Shabbos, hopefully, and hopefully we'll make it as meaningful as possible with our families, with our own loved ones, and so on. We've given up a lot this week, but sometimes when you give up, you can find strength to use the giving up to actually come closer. So maybe it's connected to the Shabbat, and as we're going into Shabbat, the Kabbalah say that Shabbat elevates the rest of the week. I think people have done, I think people need to give themselves a pat on the back. I think people have done amazing this week, seriously. Also, we're human beings, yes, we're worried a bit, we're panicked a bit, we're annoyed, we're inconvenienced. But for the people I've spoken to, and I'm sure you the same thing, people have done amazing and connected with other people, offered to help. I don't know how many people have offered to help. What can we do to help, and so on and so forth. It's beautiful. Yeah. Comes Shabbat, the Kabbalah says Shabbat elevates the whole week. It takes that whole commitment, brings it to new levels, so we can really experience that holiness of that commitment and that closeness. So it's Parashat Vayikra, it's a parasha of closeness to God. Yes, we're not going to be in shul, but we become close to God in our own homes. We can talk about the parasha, we can sing a song, we can try and experience the Shabbat and elevate the entire week, and hopefully bless the next week with good things, revealed good things, in a beautiful way. So let's try and sing a bit of a happy Shabbos tune that we normally sing. Na 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 share with you something. I want to take you L'chaim, everyone. L'chaim. You should have just a beautiful, lots of blessings, a beautiful Shabbos. L'chaim. So I want to take you, Rabbi Levi mentioned that yesterday was Rosh Chodesh, it was a special day, it was the first day of the month. Today is the second day of Nisan. Nisan generally is just a special month, but in Nisan there's some special days. Today is a very special day, and I'm going to explain it and take you a little bit on a journey so we can go a bit deeper and we can connect to the impending spirituality of Shabbat. Today is the second day of Nisan is the 100th yahrzeit of Rabbi Shalom Dov Ber of Chabad. Rabbi Shalom Dov Ber was known as the Rebbe Rashab. He was the 5th Chabad Rebbe. Indirectly, your first son is connected to him, because he's a name after my father, who was a name after the Rebbe Rashab, and the name is Shalom Dov Ber. And he was a great mystic, an unbelievably great Hasidic master, took the teachings of mysticism and Hasidism to a whole nother level, established a yeshiva where the secrets and the revealed part of Torah were taught in a very, very comprehensive way. And he was a great tzaddik. And the Kabbalah teaches us that when a tzaddik passes away, each year on the yahrzeit, his soul is elevated. Each day on the yahrzeit, whatever he stood for comes together and has an amazing impact on the world. When it's a special number, like it is this year, it's 100 years since he passed away. So this is a very significant day. And what I want to share, there's so many things to share, but what I want to share with you is, I want to have a look at his name. And take his name and connect it to perhaps what we're going through now, and Shabbat in general, and just a general foundational concept. So he had two names. His name was Shalom, that was his first name, which means peace, of course, and Dov Ber. I'm sure many of you have heard of Dov Ber. Dov Ber is an interesting name. Dov Ber means a bear, like in Yiddish.
It's two words, actually, really.
It's actually two. That's exactly what I want to get to. Yeah. So there's a tradition in names. There's a specific Jewish tradition when it comes to names, that certain names, like it was very traditional to give Hebrew names, and among Ashkenazi Jews, Yiddish names were quite common. So his name was Dov Ber. Now, Dov means a bear, and bear means a bear. Bear is a Yiddish word. Are we okay there? Yeah. So it means, Dov means a bear, and bear also in Yiddish means a bear. But it's known that those people who have the name Dov Ber, right, write it as one word. They don't write it in Hebrew. I know my father always used to do this, but this is where it's written. It's written as one word, Dov Ber. And everything has significance. Now, by the way, this has halachic ramifications in terms of how you write things and how you write documents with the name in and so on and so forth, right? But it's written Daled Vav Beis Ayin Reish, which is like Duber, Dov Ber, in one word. What's the idea behind that? There's a mystical idea behind this, believe it or not. Because nothing happens by chance, and I didn't make this up, of course. I got this from very, very important sources. Dov is a bear in Hebrew. It's a Hebrew word. Bear is a Yiddish word. The Yiddish language, compared to the classical Hebrew language, the classical Hebrew language, of course, is what's called Lashon HaKodesh. It's the holy tongue. It's a language of holiness. Compared to Bear, which is a Yiddish, is more common language. So it's almost like holiness versus common stuff, weekday stuff. Almost like Shabbos and weekday kind of thing, right? Shabbos, weekday, holy tongue versus a common language. I mean, yes, Yiddish is a Jewish language and so on. It has amazing depth and culture, but compared to the Hebrew language, it's right. And we write it as one word. We put a Yiddish and a Hebrew expression in one word. Why? So the Lubavitcher Rebbe once explained this, and he said, because what we need to know is, we always have to create not two realities, but one reality. We have to connect holiness with unholiness, meaning bring the holiness into what is common. Because as Jews, if we live by true values, there's no difference between the shul and the home. Yes, on a hierarchical level, the shul is a holy place and the home is a more common place. The mezuzah is a holy object, and the fork that we use to eat cholent and Shabbos is not so holy, right? Just a common thing. But when we go deeper and we realize that the holiness is just more consciously holy, it's more revealed holy, but really everything is from God. Not only everything is from God, but every experience can be experienced in a divine way. Every experience can be really experience in a way where our values, the Torah values, the divine values that we have that guide us, that are our moral compass, can actually imbue everything. And therefore it's not one holy world and one unholy world, it's really all one thing. And you know, the mystics explain that when it comes Shabbat, and all of you soon, hopefully, are going to light the candle soon and at the right time.
You connect that to the word shalom as well. Shalom.
We're going to get to that.
Okay.
But you know, there's a mystical concept. Hopefully soon. Do you know what time candle lighting is today?
No.
Yaakov, do you know what time candle lighting is today?
Yeah, sure.
Check it out.
Oh, anyway, it's really a good mitzvah to light candles, bring in the holiness of Shabbat. But after that, hopefully, you're going to sit down. After you've said a few Shabbos prayers, hopefully on your own, you'll sit down and make kiddush, and then you'll have 2 chalot. So why we have 2 chalot on Shabbat?
6:39.
Oh, candle lighting time is 6:39. So make sure to light the candle 6:39 or before, any time from about 6. So we're going to sit down, have kiddush, and have 2 chalot. Lechem Mishnah it's called. Now, there are many reasons why we have 2 chalas on Shabbos. One of the reasons is the Kabbalists teach us that the 2 chalas represent the upper worlds and the lower worlds. The upper worlds and the lower worlds. The spiritual worlds and the mundane worlds. The holy worlds and the not so holy worlds. During the week, often we have a dichotomy. We're not sure we're in a holy place, we're in an unholy place. Shabbos gives us consciousness. Shabbos gives us spiritual awakening. Shabbos gives us a spiritual infusion. And Shabbos gives us the calmness and the serenity to understand that there's no friction. That's what Shabbos means. It's calm. There's no friction. We take the 2 chalas and we put them together, because really it's all one world. It's all the same. Which is why we say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbos of peace. Peace doesn't mean there's only one thing. Peace means there's 2 things, which ultimately reveal that are not really 2 things. They're really part of one process, one goal, one destiny, one mission. That's why his first name was Shalom. So Shalom and Dober are the same. And he taught, much of his teachings was about this. Much of his teachings was all about revealing God in this world. Doing a mitzvah and connecting us lowly people with a higher world, higher level of godliness. All those are part of his teachings, very much in line with the Shabbos theme, and I think very much in line with what we're going through now. Because we have good times and not such good times. We have times that are easier to handle, times that are less easy to handle. When we understand the Shabbos concept, we understand that they're both from God. They're not 2 different things. Yes, it's harder this week. It was harder, maybe it'll be harder this week. But we can make it work as well. We can connect it with the good times. We connect it with the calm times. Because the circumstances are different, but what we're doing is all one thing. The mission is the same. The purpose is the same. And I think people have done an amazing job this week by showing that they can live with a purpose, even under more difficult circumstances. God will see that and He'll bless us with easier circumstances. But in the meantime, we see that we can do that. We can bring the 2 chalas together. And that's what the 2 chalas of Friday night is. It's the Hebrew and the not Hebrew, the spiritual and the physical. Upper worlds and lower worlds, and we put them all together. So let's try and connect to this concept. And I think what I'm going to do it is, last week we sang a nigun from Aaron of Karlin. This time we're going to sing a nigun from the Rebbe Rashab. It's a slow, beautiful nigun, and we know that the concepts that tzaddikim, that righteous people teach us, often manifest itself in their songs, because song is very deep. Song is known as the pen of the heart, and soul is a way to express and reflect. And before we sing that nigun, let me just invite you together with me to close your eyes, to just calm down, get into the spirit and the calmness of Shabbos, so that we can properly connect to what we're going to try and feel and reflect on when we sing this nigun, transitioning us into Shabbos. And as you just get yourself into a relaxed way, just become aware of where you're sitting, become aware of the chair that you're sitting on or the couch that you're lying on. Focus on the fact that you have hands, you have feet, you have a head. Just focus, become aware, and let's get into a state of focus and consciousness and spiritual mindfulness. And to make it easy for us, let's just pay attention to our breathing so that we can get into a rhythm. As you breathe in and out, try feel the calmness of the rhythm of the breathing. which is similar to the rhythm of Shabbat. The rhythm of our breathing reflects the rhythm of our soul. Because, as you know, breathing is neshima, and soul is neshama. Our soul also has a rhythm. Our soul goes in and out. Our soul connects deeply to spiritual experiences, retreats into the holiness and spiritual strength of Shabbat, and then emerges, goes out, and infuses the week with the Shabbat sanctity. Goes back into the next Shabbat, and then infuses the next week with the values and spirituality. Shabbat Shalom, peace, calmness, is not just on Shabbat. It's about bringing that calmness into the week that follows. The two chalas become one. The Hebrew and the common language become one with one focus, one mission. As you reflect on that, let's sing together this nigun. This nigun is called the Rostova nigun. It represents the calmness of the neshama, the power of our Jewishness, and the connection to God.
Chaim. Just to end off with a thought to take with you into Shabbos. So as was mentioned, it's Parashas Vayikra, and it discusses sacrifices. But it's interesting, if you look into the order of what the Torah discusses, of which sacrifices the Torah discusses, the first thing that's discussed is the voluntary sacrifices. There were certain sacrifices that were called a korban nedava. A nedava, which means like a present. The person woke up in the morning and said, I want to bring a sacrifice to God, and he'll go bring a sacrifice to Hashem in the temple. Only later does it discuss the obligatory sacrifices that if you transgressed a certain sin, you would have to bring certain sacrifices and all of that. So the question is, why would you go in that order? Wouldn't you first want to discuss what we have to do, then discuss what you're allowed to do? Why would you first, or what you want to do? Why does the Torah first discuss the things that we want to do voluntary, on a voluntary basis, and only then discuss the obligations? So as you mentioned, the term in Hebrew for sacrifice is karban, which means, also can mean kiruv, which means closeness to God. In other words, the idea of a sacrifice, yes, they brought animals, but the depth of that was to bring the person, the animal within us, so to speak, closer to Hashem, closer to God. And the truth is that the real relationship that we have to God is not because we have to. In other words, there are certain things that we have to do, and of course we have to do them, so we do them. But the depth of our relationship to Hashem is that we have a soul, we have a neshama, which wants to serve Hashem, that is its desire, that is what it wants intrinsically. And the truth is, it's the depth of every sacrifice. In other words, even the sacrifices which we need to bring, which we have to bring, even those intrinsically is because we really want to. Because every Jew, deep down, has a spark, has a divine soul that really wants to serve Hashem. And I think that going into the second Shabbos that we're not in shul, normally when we go into shul, there's a certain atmosphere which obligates us to get into it. It's sort of like everyone's singing, so I also have to sing. And then everyone's, the Torah is being read, so I have to listen. But now we're going into a Shabbos where, of course, there's obligations. We need to pray, we need to make Kiddush, etc. But for the most part, any atmosphere that's going to be created is going to be on a voluntary basis. It's not going to be an obligation. In other words, no one's forcing us. There's no outside coercion.
No one's looking.
No one's looking. But also, on a more deeper sense, there's no outside coercion. There's no outside influencing my Shabbos. And it totally has to come from within. And therefore, I want to encourage everybody to take this opportunity to discover the spark within your soul that wants to experience Shabbos. Make Kiddush tonight and sing some Shabbos songs, not because you're in shul and everyone else is doing it, because that's what your soul is pulling you to do. And tomorrow, read the parasha, take an English chumash, and read it, even though we don't have to. There's no obligation. There's no minyan. But nevertheless, let's learn the parasha. Let's try to get lessons from it, read it with commentary, get some meaning, and just have a spiritual Shabbos from within, even though there's nothing coming from without.
Beautiful idea. And the way that can be done is with joy.
Exactly.
So let's finish off with a real Lebede Kenigan.
Chaim, everybody, have a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.